Thank you for watching this today. I hope everybody's having a great day. It's, very overcast and been raining here today, and so it's kind of chilly, but that's okay. It's just kind of weird for June. I have a feeling we're going to have a very, very hot July and August. But anyway, I promised Jenny Murray, a long time ago. Hi, honey. I promised her that I would make a video about my cousin, and life just got in the way, so I apologize. But anyway, I'm titling this video "The Baptism of Cousin Roger." I don't know how many of you have ever heard the song "The Baptism of Jesse Taylor." It's an old Tanya Tucker song. Anyway, Bobby Ploss has probably heard it because he's an old country music fan, as am I. But my mom always said if Roger ever got baptized, she said that's who I think of every time I hear the song, "The Baptism of Jesse Taylor." So anyway, I want to share his story. I'm sure that he would not mind. I'm not going to say what area that this all happened in, because if I did and there's anybody from that general area watching this, they would definitely know who I'm talking about. They would be like, aha, because it's just, this is how notorious this guy was. When I was a kid, I always gave Cousin Roger a very wide berth. I was terrified of him. He was a big, imposing guy, like a building with teeth. And he ran in that part of the state. He ran the biggest drug empire. You wanted illegal drugs? Roger was your man. Illegal guns? You wanted somebody kneecaps busted? Roger was your man. He instilled fear in everybody that knew him, and he ran his empire with an iron fist. So I always tried to avoid him at all costs. I was terrified of the man. Well, in 1994, my grandfather was diagnosed with terminal cancer, and that brought me and Cousin Roger together. Well, my mom and his mom, and, we went to the hospital to see Grandpa. But, of course, my mom and his mom, they were there every day. So me and him spent a lot of time together. And that was the first time in our lives that we ever really talked. And it was about this time I was had come out of the closet, so to speak, with my eating disorder. And you know what? He was the first person, probably other than my therapist, he was the first person who listened, who understood and tried to understand where I was coming from. He said when I was a kid, he was always so worried about me because he said I was meek. I was too meek. My parents didn't treat me good, especially my mother. But he said he always worried about me because he could see me being a doormat. And I was for a long time, believe it or not. Little me. I was this frightened little mouse that wouldn't even make eye contact with people because I was just, any self-esteem that I had, my mom beat it out of me, believe me. But anyway, he listened. He tried to understand where I was coming from, and we talked about a lot, and we got to know each other, and in that week we became pretty close. And I remember he even took me on a drug deal. We pulled back behind this beauty salon in this parking lot, and I'm sitting in the passenger seat like, oh my God, looking in the rearview mirror. I'm expecting Roscoe and Inez to pull up and arrest us. And I was like, oh my God, I tried to act like that, but I couldn't help but know what was going on and see what was going on. And that really freaked me out. But it It was probably about 3 years later, my mom called me and said that Roger had gotten baptized. And God forgive me, I said, well, let's call the church and see if hell's froze over. That wasn't nice of me. But, and I noticed something very, very profound. This is, if anybody doubts the existence of God, you couldn't, after seeing the change that came over him. I mean, he was like from John Gotti to who's somebody really nice that everybody wouldn't. Oh, Jude 3. Like John Gotti to Jude 3. It was, how some people, when they give their life to Christ, it takes a while for that old personality to rub off. Like me, God, I'm still working on my self-control. When I get angry, sometimes I cuss, and I'm getting a lot better. But we're usually works in progress. Not with Cousin Roger. That change was so instant and so profound. I actually found him being my spiritual mentor. This man that if you would have told me in 1976 that Roger would be my spiritual mentor and somebody that I strive to be like, I would have said, you're on pills, you're smoking grass, something. You're insane, because I just never could have dreamed that. But it was so instantaneous and so profound, and he became such a beautiful, beautiful person. He was diagnosed with colon cancer and, oh Lord, I think around 2000 maybe. Well, he went into remission and the cancer came back. He died in 2005. And I remember coming up to the hospital to see him, and he had gotten an ostomy. They had to give him an ostomy, and he gave up. He gave up within a month. He was gone in a month. And I remember him telling the ostomy nurse that, he didn't want to deal with it. And his wife said, well, honey, having a daughter at the age of 20, having a daughter who had Down syndrome, remember how we thought that was the worst thing that could ever happen to us? And it turned out to be our biggest blessing. And I remember thinking, and that just, her comment right there has always stuck with me. My illness has turned out to be one of my best blessings. But, I got it, but he didn't. He gave up. But I remember it was 5 days before his death. I remember sitting in his living room, sitting next to him on his hospital bed. And he looked at me and he said, "You are beautiful." And I think the reason he told me that, it wasn't so much my physical looks that he was talking about. He was telling me something that he knew I had never heard a lot of when I was a kid. I never heard it from anybody except people outside the family. But I think that's why he told me that. And he meant inside as well. But I remember hugging him and saying, "I love you, Roger. God willing, I'll see you again soon." And I knew that I wasn't going to see him again in this lifetime. But, I always say that I hope if we do go to heaven instantly whenever we die, I hope he's there at the gates to meet me, because he, other than my baby boy that died when, in the 5th month of my pregnancy, he died in utero. He starved inside me because I don't have enough intestines to feed myself, much less a baby. But little Ricky, I hope he's there with Roger at the gates to welcome me in. And he's one of, him and my little boy are two of the people that I anxiously hope to see the most. And there's not a doubt in my mind. There's not a doubt in my mind, because Roger became one of the greatest Christian men that I've ever had the honor and privilege of knowing and loving. And I just wanted to share his story. And I know if he can look down, he's like up there right now. Just, I don't know if that's so, but I know he would be happy. And I know that he would be happy to see all I'm doing with my life. And he would be cheering on these videos. Yeah, he'd be saying, preach it, honey. Let people know that Jesus is a God of love. And his life, his conversion was the biggest testament, in my opinion, the biggest testament to the love of God and the power of God. And I just wanted to share that with you all. And get kind of choked up, but God bless you guys. Thanks for listening. And I hope everybody has a blessed day. Bye.